What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Collider Movie After Talk every Thursday here at 10 o'clock Central Time, where we talk about Collider movie news. We talk about movie news, movie stuff, all that. We talk about the week that has been Collider Movie Talk. Now, usually Matt is with me, but he is doing something, and he will be joining us in a while. It is the week before Star Wars, so pretty much the night before Star Wars Celebration. So we are going to be talking about Collider week this week in the movie news that did happen. There wasn't a whole lot, but there sure was a lot, and we are going to start talking about it currently. So let's get started, obviously. As soon as Matt comes on, we will do that and get Matt started, and Matt will be on very shortly. So let's get started with Monday. Now, Monday was a pretty big movie news because over the weekend we had the official Mummy trailer, and the Mummy trailer came out, and I will say this. I don't have a problem with them liking it at all. It's everybody has an opinion. And it's like my father has said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And clearly in this mind, I hated the trailer. Look, this movie has completely not sold me, but I wrote a quote on my Twitter that said that the guy who wrote Transformers 2, Transformers 3, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is making this movie, and it is the death of the franchise. Say what you will, the one thing I'm concerned about is this movie. It looks like the biggest copy off of Iron Man, kind of, but for the Mummy, that I've seen in a while, and it kind of feels like they're really just trying to do what Marvel's doing so successful with. And it's hard to say that because it's Marvel, you know? It's Marvel. You never expect Marvel to go into any way like this, and it really did not sell me. And that's unfortunate because you literally go into a movie like this and you're expecting a fun ride, you're expecting a good movie, but it couldn't get to the way I wanted to do. Let's move on then to Deadline is reporting that the guy who runs the whole freaking Expendables franchise, Sylvester Stallone, has exited the Expendables franchise in both writing and starring capability. Now, I think this is the best idea ever because he had a turnaround for his career. You know, he used to be that action guy that didn't pay attention and just did not like doing movies like this anymore. And I don't blame him. He had an Oscar nomination for a film that he's incredible in, you know, with Creed. And it's a big thing because, to be honest, I mean, you get a film like this, it's a huge role and it's a big opportunity to be a part of. And, you know, it's a big thing. And I could honestly say maybe it was looking like it was going to be bad again, and I don't blame him for wanting to do this. You know, it's perfect like anybody could say. You know, you get a role like this often, and when you hit, like, really good films, you want to leave, you know. That's just how it is. It's a very common thing, you know, and you expect in this kind of situation where you wouldn't expect something like this, and that's what I love about it is he was true and he was honest about it, and it was a very interesting thing and was a very honest thing, and that's what I like about this. But let's move on to the weekend box office. The weekend box office is Monday, so The Boss Baby took the #1 spot with estimate of $49 million at the box office. Beauty and the Beast, $47.5 million. Ghost in the Shell was a pretty disappointing what the movie was as well, with a $19 million, dropping 64% in the second weekend, and then Power Rangers got 14.5, and the movie pulled in Kong pulled in 8.8. This was a pretty interesting thing. It was a different thing, but I didn't really know what to think of it at first because, you know, it's a kids movie, so you know kids movies are always going to be rolled by that. So it's pretty common. It's a pretty common thing, and it's an interesting thing, you know. But I mean, that's just how it is. It's just how it is. Give me one second. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we're entering Buy or Sell for Monday. Darren Aronofsky's latest film entitled Mother took over the slate for Friday the 13th reboot, which was pulled. Um, it is set to be a horror film, a psycho horror film during Oscar season. This is a big thing because it's kind of following the Black Swan vibe, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to turn out. I'm very interested to see how this is going to be, and I'm hoping for the best. Obviously, I think everybody mostly is because it's a movie like this where it's different, and it's something unique that I've never quite seen like before. So I hope that he kind of brings, because the problem I had with Noah was it felt like not a Darren Aronofsky film. It felt more like an epic. It felt more like a wannabe Ten Commandments, and I kind of wish it wasn't, but that's just how the film was, and you got to kind of go with that. So, I mean, it happens. All I can say. It's kind of slow when you don't have Matt around. All right, let's move on. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say buy for that 100%. Let's move on. According to Deadline, Universal has hired Aquaman writer Will Bill to pen the script for The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It just depends. If The Mummy is as bad as we think it's going to be, and it looks like it, it just depends. Hopefully The Mummy is good in the way they're going, and we'll see Aquaman too. But hopefully it ends up pretty good. Let's move on from that. Warner Brothers and Village Road Trip has released the final trailer for Guy Ritchie's King Arthur. It was okay. I'm going to sell it. It was not that amazing, but I kind of wish it could have been something different. So let's move to Tuesday. Let's move to Tuesday's show, which was mostly an all mailbag episode. So what I wanted to do was, what I liked about it was I kind of wanted to go off that and talk about some of the topics they brought up for a little bit, hoping Matt will call, just waiting for Matt to call, because as soon as Matt calls, I can go into it with him because I was waiting for him to call. So let's get into some of the topics I really like that I wanted to talk about from the Collider show. Let's talk about some of them. I'm waiting for Matt to call. Was the one I really like. Let's talk about the younger Batman, because that was one that I was really interested in talking about, because it's an interesting one, and I really like it. And it was where the way they're going with the younger Batman, because it's kind of interesting. You never really see something like this before. So I mean, it's a completely different one, and it's really cool because I think that with the way they're going, Josh Whedon's doing the Batman film and stuff like that. I mean, that was cool. What I wanted to really talk about, though, was the younger Batman, the way they're going, because, the rumor is going on that this could be the last Ben Affleck film as Batman and Justice League. And if he's moving on, because obviously we have a Nightwing movie, and with the way it's looking for Matt Reeves, he's talked about the start of the trilogy, it's kind of something different, and the way the story modes are going in, maybe this is kind of a reboot for, you could say, for DC, because they're trying to move on from different things. And, Matthew Vaughn's going to be tackling on this film, and knowing that Flash kind of mixed things up. I like what they're saying about it because it feels, different. It feels completely different, and it's an interesting thing, and I really like about it, and it's a very amazing thing that I really like about it. So I'm interested in the thing. I'm interested to see if this is the way they're going, or they're going in a different way. I'm interested. Excuse me. The next one was Tom Cruise's role in The Mummy. Somebody thought, what if he's the Mummy? That's an interesting thing. Let's move on, because I kind of want to see him be a Van Helsing, which I thought that's what he was going to be. But, we don't know. So, I mean, it's a very interesting point. But I mean, like, what if he is the mummy? You know, what if he actually is the mummy? And that's really cool. I'm interested in seeing that. I kind of think he's a Van Helsing. That's what I would want him to play, as a Van Helsing. But we don't know. So I mean, that's a very common thing, and that's a very interesting thing as well. So we're gonna move on to Wednesday then. I am trying to get a hold of Matt. Come on, Matt. Nope. So let's move into Wednesday's show. Let's talk about the Alien Covenant TV spot. This was a really good TV spot. I really like this TV spot. I thought it kind of talked about Noomi Rapace's role in the film, and it's a new poster as well. I could definitely get an Alien meets Alien 2 kind of vibe, and I'm very interested in that. Colin Farrell is in negotiations to talk about joining Viola Davis and Steve McQueen's Widows. I really like this idea. I think this is an incredible idea, and I'm very interested to see the way they're going with this, and I'm really excited to see how they're handling it, because it's a completely different kind of thing than what I've seen before, and I like the way they're handling it and the way they're going. I'm very intrigued about it. Moving on from that, because anything I like Steve McQueen, Shame, 12 Years a Slave, he's been such an incredible director, and he's made such incredible films that any film he does, he's just on board. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are set to write the Invincible comic edition. Finally, I've been waiting for Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg to do a film together for a long time. I really have, and I'm curious to see how they're going to take it. I'm curious to see how they're going to handle it. So, I mean, it's a big thing. Avatar, let's get into buy or sell. Avatar 2 is going to begin filming this fall, according to Sigourney Weaver. They have been going through this crap so many times, because originally the movie was supposed to come out next year, and now apparently it's not coming out. And I think they just need to get it right. I think they really honestly do. And it's a tough thing. And it's a tough thing, but I think it's probably the right move. I kind of have enough of it, to be honest, and I'm starting to get kind of annoyed with the Avatar thing. Michael Keaton is going to be in Dumbo. Okay, let's just move on. Michael Bay apparently has claimed 14 film ideas for Transformers. I don't really... I really don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I don't. What did you expect me to say? Michael Bay says he's always leaving a Transformers movie. So to be honest, he always says he's leaving. And to be honest, let's just move on. Apparently Call of Duty is going to be happening. I don't give a single fuck. I am actually really interested, because Adam McKay said they're doing a Michael Chaney biopic. And Christian Bale, let me see who else. Reportedly, Christian Bale is in talks to play. I love this. because those who have not seen The Big Short, it was such a interesting thing. It was such an interesting thing, that I've never really seen much like that. But I'm excited. I'm in. But that's pretty much, I think, going to wrap it for today, guys. Like I said, it was a short show. Matt couldn't make it today. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this, like, share, subscribe. Now, Matt will be gone at Celebration. So instead, next week, I'm going to have a special guest, and we are going to do a debate episode. So we are going to talk about the debates episodes. We're going to talk about debating between the top 5 actors of the top 5 acting performances of the 2010s decade. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Oh, and also there will be no box office prediction too. Thank you, guys.